The subject of my narrative conversation for this project is my lovely and very talented sister Emily. I've known Emily since I was born by virtue of her being my older sister. Being 5 years my senior and my only sibling, Emily has very much been my role model and is someone that I've learned to respect and admire. Upon graduating from St Mary's, Emily's high ATAR score meant that she had a number of unique opportunities as far as university was concerned. Despite being offered scholarship programs at both Sydney University and the University of Notre Dame, Emily elected to stay in the Illawarra and undertake a Bachelor of Arts at UOW as a Dean Scholar. In her time at university, Emily elected to major in French and even took part in overseas exchange to France for a semester, an experience that she is very grateful that she took part in. While at university, Emily also worked as a cafe all-rounder at the Point Cafe in Sandon Point, perfecting the art of a well-brewed latte. Upon graduating, Emily expressed to several of her connections that she was looking for work, yet was unsure of what industry she wanted to pursue. By chance, one of our neighbours from the Australian newspaper encouraged her to apply for a cadet journalist position. Upon landing this role, Emily learnt on the job fast and was taken on as a fully fledged journalist only a matter of months later. After a while at the paper, Emily took a bit of a left turn and decided to entertain her passion for musical theatre by studying at NIDA for a year, while still writing for the paper on a casual basis. After this year, Emily continued her work at the Australian, but also auditioned for productions in the theatre. In 2020, Emily took one of the biggest leaps in her career when she decided to take a job as a publicist at Sydney Theatre Company, a job at which she is still currently employed. When I sat down to talk with Emily about her career and what moments stood out as being particularly impactful, Emily identified her choice to leave her full-time role at the Australian as being the most pivotal event to date. As highlighted in her timeline, Emily's job at the Australian had been a stable presence within her life for 5 years and was her first full-time position following university. This job was transformative for Emily in a number of ways, as it allowed her to move out of home and begin a life living independently in Sydney. Her evolution at the company from cadet to full-time journalist also meant that Emily was exposed to a wealth of valuable experience that allowed her to develop new skills and grow as a professional. Notably, Emily's tie with the paper also allowed her to develop professional connections and friendships which she still values to this day. Despite this rich history with the organisation, Emily knew that there were a number of variables at play in her role that she felt would not allow her to continue past 2020. Given the nature of the work, Emily was frequently put into situations where a quick and efficient turnaround was expected, as she was often beholden to the whims of the news cycle and would not be able to predict when and where her work would be taking place. This expectation of expeditious work brought on a lot of stress and angst, which Emily felt was bleeding over into other aspects of her life. Despite having a natural knack for writing, Emily also noted that she had never been truly passionate about journalism, and had taken the job more so as a means to develop her career and earn a more respectable wage. Similarly, Emily typically leans to the left of the political spectrum, which made working at a traditionally conservative newspaper challenging, especially when her colleagues would publish material that she did not personally agree with. Given all of these factors, Emily chose to apply for a publicist role at Sydney Theatre Company. At first, Emily was unsure about this decision, but was encouraged to pursue the opportunity by trusted friends and colleagues from the paper and her broader club of life. Upon reflecting now, Emily is certain that her decision was the right one. Although adapting her skills to publicity was a slight challenge at first, Emily was able to respond quickly and has begun to thrive. The slower pace of her publicity work has also had a profound benefit on her mental health, which she has observed steadily improve since taking the role. Being surrounded by theatrical production has also allowed Emily to fuse her professional knowledge with her passion for the arts, which has left her feeling immensely fulfilled with her work. Additionally, Emily is pleased that her colleagues at the Australian supported her decision to move on, and even allowed for her to continue contributing as a freelancer due to their long-standing relationship. Moving forward, Emily is looking to take her next leap into the unknown by making an indefinite trip to England in 2023. In our conversation, Emily noted that she has always wanted to live abroad and knows that she will always regret not doing so if she doesn't take the chance now. Despite having loose plans, Emily is confident that she will be able to attack any challenges she faces head on. When reflecting on Emily's story, I think there are a wealth of connections to be made between her journey and the course content. As Carey, Walther and Russell noted, the sharing of stories often allows for absent yet implicit values about the storyteller to be revealed. This certainly rings true for Emily. From the narrative, I feel there are 3 core values that stand out as being the most prevalent. The first of these is courage. At various points in Emily's story, she elaborated on situations where she took leaps of faith into the unknown and took on exciting new challenges. At the start of both her roles at the Australian and STC, Emily's previous experience was limited, meaning she would have to take on a steep learning curve in both contexts. Despite this, Emily's courage and confidence in her own abilities allowed her to navigate these challenges deftly and rely upon her resilience to get through. The second value is independence. As stated, one of the issues Emily faced working at the Australian related to the culture present at the organisation, which often discouraged debate in favour of the conservative narrative. Although she was able to ignore the dissonance between her own beliefs and those of the organisation for a time, Emily demonstrated that she values her capacity to think freely and possess opinions that may not align with those who surround her. By departing the Australian for those reasons, I feel Emily was demonstrating a great deal of independence. The third value is passion. Although Emily took her job at the Australian to advance her career, she has always been very in touch with her inner passion for the arts. As a natural creative, Emily thrives off these types of environments and is at her best when engaging her imaginative side. To many, departing the Australian to work at STC may have seemed as a bit of an odd move. However, Emily's trust in her own passionate instincts allowed her to land the role that she loves. I also think it's important to note how pivotal Emily's club of life was in this whole saga. In particular, Emily looked for guidance from our father, Bede. As a man with a varied career trajectory, Dad has had a lot of experience shifting from different roles in a multitude of industries. For this reason, my sister and I respect his opinion, as he has a lot of wisdom regarding how to approach work and life in general. In essence, Bede recommended that Emily follow her heart and remember that although she may be leaving the security of the Australian, this new job would likely offer Emily the opportunity to further her ambitions in the arts and balance her personal life in a more sustainable manner. In hindsight, this advice was prescient, as Emily has been able to do both of these things and finally feels content. In conclusion, I think my sister is a prime example of what can happen when you combine a strong work ethic with a deeper understanding of your internal values. By trusting her intuition and consulting those she trusts within her club of life, Emily has crafted a career that she can be truly proud of.